honestly, I really don't think people understand the difference between equality versus equity when it comes to things like feminism, when it comes to things like, the plight of like marginalized groups. I really don't think that many people understand the difference. This is an image that has stayed in my brain ever since I saw it. And this is like the difference between equity and equality. And the reason I want to talk about it today is because I posted this video the other day on my Instagram, my TikTok, and it was a bit of an experiment for me. I was like, this is actually how I feel, based on just like my own research, my own lived experience, my own like understanding of sociology. So if you're listening, what it says in the video is basically something along the lines of, I feel secondhand embarrassment for men who let me split the bill when I was in my, it makes me sort of like a bad feminist if I let men pay era. So basically saying that like maybe in my early 20s, I would feel the need to like split the bill because I wanted to show that I was like feminist and like didn't believe in like gender roles and stuff like that, which I by the way, I don't. And I think people have kind of commented thinking that I'm coming from this place of conservatism, that I'm coming from this place of like, well, I want a traditional man. No, I fucking don't. No, I don't. And the reason that I want men to pay, or I feel like men should want to pay, it's not about conservatism, it's not about tradition. And I'm going to explain in this video why I think that, or why I personally find it very attractive when a guy pays, provides, or not even provides, because I can provide for myself for a start. So I feel like it's not a case of this conservative point of view, which it traditionally would have been. I think I felt like a bad feminist before for not paying, because I felt like I need to prove that I'm independent. I need to prove that I can pay for stuff. I need to prove that I agree, like I believe in equality and things like that. And I think that equality doesn't always look like the same for both parties. Sometimes it looks like equity. And this is why this image is so important. Equality is like everybody gets the same amount of stuff, which is fine, but that's nice in an ideal world, but we live in reality, and equity is more important, more practical, and more justified. For example, some people, weirdly, get mad about disabled people having a spot in the car park. They're thinking, oh, it's so unfair that they get the car parking spot closest to the supermarket. That's unfair. That's not equal. No, bitch, it's equity. Having a car parking spot right outside the supermarket brings people who are disadvantaged or have a physical disability to the same level as somebody who's able. Like, all it's happening is it's raising the person with a disability up to having like the same, I guess, access, or it's some kind of step towards giving them a greater amount of like access to the same things that people who are able-bodied can have. Okay, that's the difference. So yes, equality would look like, there's no disabled spot, but then that would be to the person with a disability's disadvantage. I guess like a form of equity is like positive discrimination. It's important to have representation across the board, and giving opportunities to people who don't currently have representation in that company or in that space is so important. It's like same with like, dating, and which is going to come to now, and equity. If we're looking at it from a pure economic standpoint, it is costly to date men as a woman. Men are like, oh, it costs us so much to date, like fuck's sake, like so annoying, like we spend so much money. Yeah, bitch, you come up with the upfront cost, in that moment, paying the bill. But from a purely economic point of view, it costs us money to date you. It costs us money in makeup, in hair, in emotional labour, in emotional preparation, in outfits. And you know why we do all that? Because if we didn't do all that labour, and if we didn't show up to the date with makeup, hair, emotional labour, like, whatever, like done, we wouldn't be able to date. We wouldn't be able to date men. The standard for women when it comes to dating, from a purely economic point of view, is so high. It costs us in like all our products, our outfit, like a time. Men like probably spend max an hour prepping for a date. Women have to spend probably 2 hours prepping for a date. And on top of that, we've got to pay extra to like keep ourselves safe, not only emotionally, but also physically. We have to pay for Ubers. There's an inconvenience part or cost that comes when you date men as a woman. Okay, there's all this emotional labor that you have to prepare for. You're fundamentally going on a date with somebody who is like a danger to your safety, okay? So there's all this invisible labor that men don't seem to understand that women have to do when it comes to dating. And if I think about it, all they need to do, or not even need, all they should want to do, and I'll get to this later in terms of like what I find attractive in a man, is they should want to pay. Like if we're looking at it from like this sort of transactional point of view, well, the cost for women is this and the cost for men is that. It either like women are like making a loss if they pay for the date, okay? If we're looking at it from just the prep standpoint. On top of that, women also experience a pay gap. I think something like, oh my God, I don't want to get it wrong. I think it's like women get paid roughly 80% of what men get paid in their job. And again, people don't really seem to understand this. It's not a case of like, we're deliberately going to pay women less, okay? It's a case of women in society are not encouraged to ask for promotions. They're not encouraged or even thought about when it comes to promoting people. Okay, there's so much sexism and misogyny that takes place that women aren't taken as seriously as men. They're in fewer higher positions than men. And men are encouraged to, like I said, ask for more money. Women are not, so therefore they take a pay cut, not deliberately, not because the company is deliberately paying women less, but it's this glass ceiling that is invisible to anybody that is not a woman. You know, we don't feel like we can be forthcoming, or we don't feel like we can be assertive with what we want because we feel as though, you know, people are going to judge us, people are going to call us bossy, people are going to call us scary and rude and bitchy or whatever. So there's all these limitations going on in our mind, all this labour going on that men just, it's not even part of their frame of reference. They would just never even worry about that. They're like, no, I want more money and I'm going to ask for it. Yeah, we're going to have to go through mental gymnastics in order to even ask for that promotion, in order to feel worthy of that promotion, just because of the way that we're treated in society. Okay, so there's the gender pay gap. There's the pink tax. We have to pay extra just for, like, you know, things that we need as women, like period care, or we have to pay extra for like razors. There's so many different things that we have to pay for, okay? And then we also have to pay for, like I said already before, we have to pay for our safety. We have to pay extra for Ubers. We have to pay extra or like curb our experience and our time in order to make sure that we are safe. Like we can't go out at night. We don't have the privilege to go out at night or to, or we have to take extra precautions, or we have to buy like literally like defense, not even weapons, but like we have to think about our defending ourselves in any situation. So not only is there a literal physical cost, like an economic cost, there's also a massive emotional cost. You know, always being hyper vigilant, always looking behind your shoulder, always thinking about your safety, always having to consider that somebody might be taking advantage of you, somebody might be like following you, all these things, okay? And when it comes to dating, thinking about all of this stuff, it is literally ludicrous that women should pay for dinner. It's ludicrous. I don't care if people deliberately misunderstand me and saying that's traditional, that's conservatism. No, it's not, bitch. If you look at the state of the society, if you look at the equity versus equality debate, if you look at just the pink tax, like glass ceiling, if you look at the amount of effort that women have to go through in order to show up for a date without being judged for like not looking perfect, like the aesthetic labour that is expected from women to look gorgeous, look put together for a date is insane. Like there are so many costs that go with it, both emotional and physical, both intangible and intangible, both tangible and intangible, that some dumb bitch in my comment section is, or some dumb guy is like, this is conservatism dressed up as feminism. Sorry, pick up a sociology book. Do some research. Maybe don't look at things at such a face value point of view. Maybe be a critical thinker. Maybe be curious about, the sheer amount of pressure on women in society, the sheer amount of costs that we have to bear, intangible and tangible, that you cannot just wrap up into, well, this just looks like conservatism dressed up as progress. No, it's not. Back in the day, the conservative traditional point of view is that men would pay. Okay? That is traditional. I'm not coming at this from a traditional point of view. That's out of my frame of reference, not interested in conservatism or traditionalism. The reason I have this point of view that men should want to provide, want to pay, want to be generous is because of everything I've just explained. Outside of an economic point of view, I like it when men pay because it's fucking hot. It's giving security. It's always the people that are worried about this shit, about, oh, it's so unfair that women, expect us to pay for everything. The only people that are mad about that are either people who are in relationships where the men expects them to pay. So they're like projecting, they're like, for fuck's sake, my husband or my boyfriend makes me pay. I need to justify my own existence. I need to justify my own choice to stay with this man that makes me pay. So I'm going to shit on this woman that says, no, I don't want to pay and I want men to pay. Or it's men that are broke. It's men that can't afford to date women. It's men that can't afford it because not even rich men, just generous, like abundant men understand that dating is investing, see women as people, invest in women, and see it as a privilege to take a woman out on a date. Because the social capital that they also gain from taking a gorgeous woman out to date, like, is insane. Women, low-key, when it comes to dating, like, straight women take an L. Safety-wise, emotional labour-wise, it's a big upheaval. Men gain from dating women. Not only do people look at him different, it increases his social status. Like, he benefits from dating a pretty girl, a pretty woman. He benefits from that. He gets, like, social kudos from that. Women just don't. Like, women don't, it's not the same. If you've seen the article, like, is like having a boyfriend embarrassing? Obviously it's inherently not embarrassing when they're amazing, and like, it's definitely not embarrassing when men are like incredible and you're dating like a lovely man. But it's embarrassing when they are subpar. It's embarrassing when you're having to, mother him. It's embarrassing when you're having to therapize him and treat him as if like it's a coach-client relationship, because he doesn't have the ability to like regulate his own nervous system and have, emotional intelligence. Like that is embarrassing. So it's just not the same playing ground, is it? Like, men benefit from dating women. Women don't. The only benefit they get is like the potential that they're going to meet somebody that they really fancy. But like from a sort of social kudos point of view, low-key, they're taking an L. Like, they are. So it's just not balanced. It's not the same. And I find it very, very, very hot when a guy pays, because it's indicative of his mentality. It's indicative of the fact that he has abundant mindset. I can't be dealing with men who are insecure, who resent women, who are jealous of women. Like, when a man has like an abundant mindset and is generous and can like pay for stuff, it's so sexy to me, because it indicates that he's secure, it indicates that he's confident in himself, it indicates that, he's like got this like, I can take care of you baby energy. Like, that's sexy. He likes women, probably, hopefully, fingers crossed. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't faze him that he like should pay, or like he pays for the date, because he sees it as an investment. He sees it as like, wow, I'm really lucky to be able to go on a date with this person. Like, that's really hot. So it's this abundant mindset that comes with somebody being able to pay for a date, okay? It's not the actual payment. Realistically, I can pay for my own date, I can pay for like dinner, I can like obviously I can pay for my own shit, like I'm fine. So why would I go on a date with a man if he doesn't even pay? Like, why would I go on a date with a man, considering everything I've already said, where he benefits, like whatever, like he gets all this like social kudos, he like doesn't have to do all this labor, etc. Why would I take all those costs, all those like social and emotional costs, whatever, and also pay? Like, why would I do that? I'd just rather go on a date with myself, which, you know, that's fine. Okay, it's kind of annoying. Somebody's just started doing some gardening outside. So if you can hear that, I do apologise. But yeah, like, what's the benefit, like, for me to go on a date? What's the incentive for me to go on the date unless I'm being, like, treated in a way that's, like, different, above, like, better than if I was just to take myself out on a date? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you consider the fact that you can see what the man benefits from, like, where's my benefit? Well, the benefit is that they wine and dine me, they like treat me, they like are generous, they make an experience for me, okay? And abundant mindset men know this. Abundant mindset men, who I find very attractive, want to create a really great experience for whoever they're dating. That's their whole goal. They just want to make them feel good, they want to make them feel safe, they want to make them feel like, you know, like they're being treated well, they're being taken care of. They know that. And so the reason I won't date men who don't pick up the bill, etc., is because I want those men. I want men to want to pay. I want men who get a kick out of being generous, who get a kick out of like providing and like giving a woman that they really fancy or somebody they really like a good experience. That's sexy to me. I like that energy. I like that energy of like somebody wanting to do that. And that's ultimately it. It's the payment is kind of like, it's not that, it's the principle, it's what the meaning is behind it. It indicates somebody's generous, it indicates somebody is abundant, it indicates somebody's secure, it indicates somebody is like well off enough that it doesn't faze them to pay. It indicates that they see dating as an investment. It indicates to me that they see dating as like a fun, experience-filled thing. It also indicates to me that they like to treat women. You know, they like to do those things. And again, I'll reiterate, it's not a case of conservatism. It's not a case of like, I think men should pay because like they, you know, that's what men are for. No. I want a certain caliber of man, and the caliber of man is somebody who's well off, is secure, is financially liberated, financially stable, somebody who like really likes women, like likes female company, likes women, and likes the ritual of dating, enjoys female company, not just from a sexual point of view, like genuinely likes talking to women, genuinely likes female energy, like being around women. Okay, that's that. So I think, you know, I can see why posting that video, it can look like I'm coming from a place of like, not necessarily against feminism, but it can be misconstrued as like traditionalist. But like feminism is also like, I can still be a feminist, and I am one, and still want men to pay for dates, still want men to provide, still want men to like be rich, because my feminism is not this sort of like surface level feminism. It's you know, because feminism is about equity versus equality. You know, feminism's about raising people up to the same standard. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's about empowerment. It's about yeah, raising up the people that are kind of like in a minority or you know, have a disadvantage in society to the level at which other people are, like basically men. It's like raising women up to where men are, and that doesn't always look the same. It's like people think that like matriarchy is like the inversion of patriarchy. No, it's not, bitch. Matriarchy would function so differently. It's nothing like that. And that's why men are terrified. They're like, no, we don't want to dismantle patriarchy because it's going to be the inversion of like matriarchy is the inversion of patriarchy, and they know that women get treated like shit in patriarchy. But it's not. Matriarchy is such a completely different thing, a whole different structure. It's not even anything like patriarchy. Patriarchy relies on the subjugation of women. Matriarchy wouldn't rely on that. So it's just not the same, and I feel like it applies in this situation. Either way, I just thought that it was interesting that people were saying like, oh, you want equality until it comes to paying for the bill. No, because it's not about traditionalism. It's not about conservatism. I don't want those things from a traditional point of view. I want those things from the things that I listed, from a place of equity versus equality, from a place of just finding those types of men just attractive and sexy, like provider energy. Like that's also a personal preference. If you actually look at the reality of the world and you don't look at things, you know, just at this sort of face value point of view, you're going to realise that it's like women are taking an L if they split. Women are taking an L if they pay for the bill. Oh my god, by the way, like I said in that video, I've been there. When I was in that like stage of my life of like, you know, like I don't want like a man to like pay or whatever, I want to be able to split it and stuff, like, you know, I've done that before. Like I've split the bill. I've even paid, I think at one particular time I remember I paid for the whole thing, and it makes me feel really uncomfortable now because I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? Like I just wasn't attracting the type of guy that I wanted to attract. Now with this greater understanding how society functions and how it's to the disadvantage of women financially, emotionally, spiritually, I can't justify it. I can't. And I want to be with a guy who, or I want to date a guy who also understands that, who also understands those structures, who also understands that patriarchy is to the detriment of women and that paying is like the least they can do. It's the least they can do, realistically. Anyway, that's my little hot take for today. Comment down below what you think. I'm sure I will have some mixed reviews. This video is sponsored by my course. It's the People Pleaser to Powerhouse 4-week online self-led course. It's £200 off in December only, so you've got like a week to, or not even, I don't know when I'm gonna post this. Shit, I shouldn't say that. You got like some time, like a few days to get that in. You can also do a split payment, and it's basically taking you from this version of yourself that is, you know, can't advocate for yourself, like struggle to speak up, always putting your needs behind everybody else's, always burnt out, always feeling like this version of yourself that just isn't actualized yet, to becoming this most magnetic, self-assured, authentic, boundaried version of yourself. Like that's the transformation you're going to experience. Go ahead and click on the link below, check out the transformation. I've got like a breakdown of the course and the modules, like what you're going to take away from it. You're not going to be disappointed. Go and get £200 off this month. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.